Building in southwest Delhi holds a dark secret. The building houses Fairmart Travels, an innocent-sounding travel agency, except that it's just a front for a scamming business. And to the rear of the building, in a secret office, there's a room full of scammers. And incredibly, I've been able to see exactly what they do through their own CCTV.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir, I can. Yeah, I'm still there. Yep.
So you're lying about that? Are you?
What's
going on here?
Well, I hope you're kidding about that, man.
What's going on? Hello?
Allow me 1 minute, sir. I'm just checking that for you, okay? Yeah, please stay on the line.
So, wait, hello?
He's calling
This
in for
scammer
backup.
calls himself Mark Robinson, but his real name is Chewin. And yes, I'm watching him live on his own CCTV.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what's all this about
Hi.
stopped services then when they should be running? I don't get it.
Yeah, sir, you need to go ahead and get it fixed, and there will be a one-time charge, sir, okay?
He's
So
getting
hold on,
nervous.
Why would you charge me when there's nothing wrong? That's quite normal.
No, there are certain technical things that has to be fixed.
Technical things. Go on, try me. I'm quite technical.
I'm sorry, sir, but there will be a charge. If you want, we can fix it.
But
or if you don't want, I can go out.
He's
of
pretty
the computer,
good.
no problem.
Just pay it.
I just want to know what's wrong.
We need the diagnosis of the
you're a
computer
technician,
problems.
so
Pay
tell
him.
me what's wrong.
Only he knows.
Sir, well, I'm just a junior level technician. We need to assign the case to the senior level technician.
You're about to see one of the most comprehensive views of the inner workings of one of these scam call centers ever seen on YouTube.
Any chance you saved any of those old Gears of War videos? Did you save any?
But let's start at the beginning. How exactly did I find out that Fairmart Travels were behind this pop-up scam? Like most scammers, they buy fake and malicious adverts. These adverts claim that your computer has a virus and it will lock your PC.
I remember the first time I encountered one of these, I panicked.
You to ring the number which is shown on screen. And
I believe it was on
RedTube
RedTube, actually.
To close this window. On top of this, a very loud warning will play in the background.
Security message. Your computer has been locked up. Your IP address was used without your knowledge or consent to visit websites that contains identity theft virus.
If you've not encountered anything like this before, you can see how it's possible that some people will phone the number in the hope that they can get rid of what looks like a virus. Of course, there's nothing wrong at all. It's all just to encourage the phone call. And if you watch my channel at all, you'll know that I deliberately phone these numbers.
Nice.
I have my PC set up in a way that if they attempt to scam me, and they usually run a very set script, I will reverse this connection and gain access to the scammer's PC. So when they did try to steal money from me, they described their organisation as iTech Securities. This would turn out to be one of many aliases which Fairmart Travels will use. And the method they used to take these payments was through PayPal. Something
it's incredible how scamming
the scam
has like real
right
businesses.
To the managing director. And when I gained this reverse access,
this
the
full-time
thing that was immediately
scam centers, really
was
impressive
that
shit.
They had CCTV. This would provide a fascinating insight as to how their operation worked and what the layout of the building was. This would prove very useful for identifying who they were. On the basement floors, there were server rooms, a kitchen and a canteen. The CCTV around the main gates of the building showed that there were guards present. This isn't unusual.
I work with a Fortune 500 bank and we lost
Delhi,
almost $1 million to scams.
Show exactly what the road and surroundings looked like.
Really? Like the scams are usually like super easily avoidable. Do people at your bank just like click every email they get?
This person,
sexy
for example,
singles in your area,
is walking around the first floor, and this is to the rear of the premises. But most of the cameras indicated
I know it's mainly old people, but
a
at a
proper
bank,
office building.
How does that happen?
There were lots of people working on desks with computers, and certainly in the main building, on floors 1 to 3, it didn't seem to be that.
What's that motivational quote? In business are never done by one person; they're done by a team of people. Steve Jobs. Well, it's almost fitting that Steve Jobs is the motivation for the entire scam center, I guess. Wild.
Were any scammers present. These were real workers doing real jobs
Thanks to the
in
recent
probably
intervention
a
in
real
Xavier.
travel agency. But there were another 2 floors which were covered by CCTV, which didn't seem to have anything to do with the main office building. There was one of these floors where I was certain that the scammers were
You
present
keep recommending
in one room.
MoistCr1tikal. I said
So
maybe,
I needed a
don't
bit
know.
of help. Someone who
But
could
don't
photograph
donate
the
to
outside
recommend
of
it,
the
man.
call centre and try and find out where the second building was. So I called on my friend Carl Rock. Like me, Carl exposes
Well, good luck
scams
already
in
dead, and
India,
thank you, man.
and I urge you
Thanks
to
to
check
Reset
out
Never
his
Sleep.
channel. In the top right hand corner, you'll see a link to his version of this video. And after Carl shot this footage, I noticed that there was something that appeared on one of the CCTV cameras.
Is it the world's worst bus driver who's blocking the entire fucking road? This looks like a scene out of Mission Impossible where, like, all the bad guys are gonna storm out and steal the president or something from the fucking cavalcade. Like, what is this? This guy needs to be arrested. Fuck the scammers, let's get this bus driver.
From the CCTV, I could see that there's a roof garden right outside the room that the scammers operated in. And lo and behold, right behind the Fairmart building was another building with a roof garden. Fairmart had only recently installed CCTV, and it was
Thanks to
during that
Prime.
installation
Thanks
process
to James.
that the camera was briefly fixed
The
on
Prime
that
League.
roof garden. Eventually, the camera would be turned round to a static position in front of the offices where the scamming took place. So Carl very kindly took a second lot of drone shots of the building behind Fairmart. This is where their scams operated from.
Nice.
This is one of the cleverest but sneakiest ways of disguising the fact that you're a
Thanks to Prime
scamming
Way.
group. If the police ever did raid the main building, they would only find legitimate computers and legitimate offices. And I could see that it was the alleyway between the 2 buildings that was being used by scammers to move between the legitimate and illegal offices. The people who were employed to run the scams didn't even need to use the front door of
Thanks to
the
Prime
normal
Toasty.
office. All very clever. But the CCTV didn't have any audio, but I could see them using remote access software.
Thanks, Prime Rude Boy.
Here, this scammer is using GoToAssist, and even sometimes the pop-up which would appear on their victims' PCs. But although their CCTV didn't record any audio, they happened to record audio on a different system called Ringba. This is their VoIP provider, which allowed them to use UK and US phone numbers, but it had the advantage where every phone call they received was recorded.
Nice.
You would have good reason to wonder why a travel company would run a campaign called USA Blue Screen of Death or UK Adult. And because they recorded all of their calls, I could listen in on some of them.
For calling support, my name is Alwyn. How can I help you today?
I just got an important security message. It says my computer's being shut down.
What were you doing on the computer when you got this message?
Is this edit? Oh, we can only
Can you
hear
lower
his
down the volume of your computer?
Thanks to 5 gift
So
subs,
since
Magenta.
I had all
Thank
of
you.
their audio files, all I needed to do was take the timestamps of the audio and match them to the timestamps of video.
Oh.
This would allow me to see other people being scammed.
God damn, that's thorough. What is this background? Are we sure we're in a scam center? Is this just maybe a pornography headquarters? Also, when you think of, like, crime and shit, the movies have you believe that everyone's, like, really cool looking, like, trench coats and sunglasses, and then you actually look into, like, a crime ring and everyone just looks like a bunch of nerds. Like, I feel like after this, they went home and just started rolling D20 dice and having a blast. Just committing crime by day and D&D by night, huh, boys?
Thanks for your call. You're speaking with Luke. Can we help you?
Hi, I was just trying to watch.
Both ears are needed for the audio? Well, that's rough because this is broken. Oh well. Needs to be some cheese house in the Prime Blitzed.
It's telling me it's locked and I have to call security.
Okay, and what were you trying to do on this computer?
I'm watching movies.
Is this your personal computer or it's a family computer?
It's a work computer.
It's work computer, okay. So you can,
Turn on mono audio in Windows. I'm not Jim Browning. Your hacker man lingo and jargon means nothing to me.
do you have any IT guy?
I don't know how to do that.
Sorry?
Nor do I want to learn.
Do you have any IT guy in your work, in your office?
No, I'm at home now.
Thanks to the resub
I brought
Hunter
my work
and
laptop
Fun
home.
Guy. Not yet, Fun Guy.
Okay, because there will be a one-time charge if we fix something online
Good
today for
news.
you.
That's good news,
If there's
Hunter.
any software issues, there
Thank you,
will
man.
be a one-time charge.
Glad it healed.
So will that fine for you? Are you the authorized for that?
Why would my computer be locked in the first place? I was just watching movies.
Thanks to the resub Eat.
There could be some viruses which download from that online movies website.
Oh.
Yes. So I have to
So
check
what
the
do I do
computer
now?
I have to check the computer, and according to that there would be a one-time charge that would be the diagnosed charge, and if there is any other issues they will be charged according to that.
Why is he sniffing his fingers?
The minimum which is diagnosed
Smells
charge,
like my
which
asshole.
will cost
Yeehaw.
around £50.
And if I don't have £50 to pay?
Then you can take this computer to local store or a local technician.
No. Alright, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
That was easy. Thanks to resub Hypnotoad.
And because I could see what the supervisor was monitoring, I could also see the scammers' names. The green colour meant that someone was engaged in a call with a victim, and the orange colour indicated that a person was waiting on a call. And, depending on the day and the time, there could be anything from just 2 agents to 22 on the floor.
Thanks to the resub Lexine.
And when they answer their phone, they would of course never give their real name. They would always give a fake English-sounding one. So I thought I would phone them up and try and work out which name they would use and
This
see the
guy's all
faces
alone.
on the CCTV.
But I'm hoping I can reach that guy, whatever his name is.
We got him, pussy. Hit him with some Xbox Live shit. Go wild on him.
So this guy called himself Jerry. But of course, when the office was busier, it was much harder to work out who I was speaking to, so I needed another tactic. I would deliberately change my desktop background to something really obvious.
Now type help me all in one word.
Help me.
And then allow one of their scammers to connect to my PC. And once the scammer had remote access to my computer, I'd simply use their CCTV to see who was looking at the monitor with the purple screen.
That's so smart. Holy shit.
Fully connected with you. You can see my cursor
This guy would make
on the
the
computer
ultimate
screen.
anime villain.
Yeah, I see that. Right, okay.
Right, so you
So-
do not have to worry about anything, sir. You're talking to Windows certified technician, so I'm just gonna find
Holy
out
shit.
first of all if anything's wrong on the computer system. So how long have you had this computer, sir? Like how old is this computer?
It's only a year old or something.
Okay, just
Sorry,
a year
I'm-
old,
sorry,
right?
just who
So
am
let
I
me just
who am I
check.
talking to here?
Thanks to resub Corp.
This is Chris Young, sir. I'm a Windows certified technician.
And so now I knew what the person who called themselves Chris Young looked like.
You might be using. I'm sorry.
Is this Microsoft
No, sir.
or who
I'm.
am-
It
Who's
has
the prime?
nothing to do. It has nothing to
Levy
do with the
and
Microsoft.
Ofka?
It's a Windows support. I believe you are using a Windows computer.
Unfortunately, some of the CCTV cameras were set up worse than others, and when I switched to the like of camera 5, it gave a bit of a distorted and black and white view, but it was still enough to see who I was speaking to.
The exact problem going on the computer system,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So why you
Thanks
got
to
the
tier 1
number on the computer
Scarecore,
screen
or
is so
Scarcore.
because when you first bought the computer, the securities of this computer was registered.
But the camera was more than good enough to watch the scammers squirm whenever they were challenged.
I hope you're not breaching Microsoft's copyright here. Because if you put a window up saying Microsoft at the top, and you're not
Okay,
Microsoft.
you're thinking that way. What you can do, sir? What you can do? What
Well,
do you want to do? What do you
well, I
want to
don't
do
know.
about
I think
that?
I should
If
be
you
going
think
to.
I'm breaching your
Thanks for some
security
slime and
system,
so straight.
No, I think you're impersonating Microsoft, and I think you're
what do you want to
trying to scam people. That's what I think is going on here.
do? Okay, so now you're in that pod right now, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've lied to me about what not
Thanks to
stopped
tier
showing.
1,
I'm gonna show
Jamar.
you all the services, sir.
So the services should be stopped,
I'm
as you
gonna show
well
you all
know.
the services, everything.
Yeah, some of them should be started,
I'm
and some
sorry?
of them should be running, and some of them should be stopped because they should be started manually. So what are you going to show me here?
I'm not gonna show you anything, sir. You can, this is your computer, you can do whatever you want. Is there anything else you want to ask? Anything else you have any doubts?
Yeah, I want to know why
Insult
you
him!
scam people.
Insult him! Oh, he should have
Why
gone
is
much
it-
harder.
But there are hundreds of victims of this crime, and I want to do something about
Your
it. So for the
shirt
first
looks
time
like
ever,
shit
I've
right now,
shared
and
this
then just start
footage
calling
with
him
a
out.
UK documentary team.
Describe
called
what he's
Panorama.
wearing.
That
Pretend to
team
be a
were able
god.
to travel to India to confront the owner of this call centre, and I've left a link to their video in the description below. By sharing the footage, I'm hoping that more people can be made aware of these
Thanks to
scams,
resub
and
Uncle
hopefully
Tiny.
some will be prevented. If you're a patron of mine, you can already see the first 3 parts of this video unblurred, but for the public YouTube videos,
Thanks to
I
tier
have
1
to blur
Justin.
some of the details to meet YouTube's privacy policies. In part 2 of this 4-part video
I'm
series,
sorry
you're
to
going
hear
to
that,
see
Uncle
what
Tiny.
these scammers do every day, how their shifts work, how they get paid, how they get to and from their offices, and if they're really trusted. And in part 3, we're going to follow the money.
Thanks to
It's
resub
not the
Faith
call
Pro.
centre workers who make most of the money, so exactly where does it go? Who's the brains behind the organisation, and is it just one type of scam that they're involved with? Find out in part 3. These videos
This
on
was a
YouTube
lot
will
cooler
always
than
be
I
free.
thought.
However, if you would like to support me in my efforts against scammers, here is a link to my Patreon channel. There you
Nice. Well, fuck it, we'll let it ride. That was a lot more interesting than the other ones I saw. I always love people that bust scammers, but that was pretty fucking cool. That was a different level. I wish he was more mean, though. Like, if I had the ability to go into, like, the scammers' fucking cameras and watch them live, I would absolutely pretend to be, like, an omniscient force. Like a fucking god. Describing their shit, going over their sins. And just do, like, a... kind of like how a psychic cold reads. I just start doing cold reads on them. Get them on edge. Alright, let me take a pee. A little tinkle real quick. Thanks to the resub Yoshi. I'll be right back. I'm back, team. Thanks to the resub Baldmite, Wave, and the Prime Marley. And Bits Again Lawman. No, we're gonna do part 2 now. I wanna see part 2. Now I'm invested in this call center, like, personally.
In part 1 of this 4-part video series, I showed how Fairmart Travels
Yeah, it's been
operated
good,
a
Aaron.
secret
I'm all caught up on
scamming
Wonder
call
Egg.
centre to the rear of their normal premises. Fairmart Travels use pop-up scams to generate calls and revenue. They will require remote access to a victim's computer, but in my case, I was able
some
to
Candy
reverse
Cane,
this
Aiden, and
access
Hamburger,
get
and the Prime
visibility
Chicken.
of their computers. And very unusually, I could see that this operation had CCTV. I could see how their scams worked. And in this video, you're going to see how
Thanks
they
for some
went
Swift.
about scamming thousands of people in the USA, UK and Australia. Everyone in this room is a scammer. There are 28 seats, and the area in the corner is for the operations managers. These operations managers facilitate the scams, and they will monitor every PC
Thanks
in
to
this
Prime
room.
Crispy and
here
resub
is
Bipo
that
and
view.
Monray.
The supervisors will see every PC
thanks, Rip.
which
You
is
sounds
switched
cool.
on in the office. Some of the scammers will waste their time on the likes of websites like 9gag, while others will be looking at the inbound calls,
Okay.
and yet more registering customer information on a database that they call TechnoSpine. And this screen shows them preparing documentation for their victims. They will also keep an eye
Thanks,
on
Resub
the
Turtle.
inbound calls. And here's their view of those calls. The ones coloured green are agents engaged in calls, red away from their desks, and yellow sitting waiting.
How much does a scammer get
They
paid?
will also keep
Probably
in touch with their
fucking
senior
nothing.
management team via Skype.
It all goes to the
Here's
top level, I
supervisor
bet.
Speaking with Amit Chowan. He's the managing director of
Thanks for
Fairmark
resub,
Travels and the
CJ.
sister company Adrit Technologies, but there'll be much more about him in the next video. But the most important job of the supervisors was to take the payment information and put them into spreadsheets. They had different payment gateways and processes depending on whether the payment was a cheque or by card. And they would use various company names.
I don't need
Here's a WhatsApp message sent to the supervisor telling them that they would change their name from Shankar Consulting to RAM PC Support. This happened literally overnight.
Damn, this guy is getting dono-walled hard.
Consulting became known as a scam operation. A Google search of Shankar Consulting shows that the business looks to be associated with scams. So looking at the checks written by their victims, you can see the name changing regularly. There was Charge 1, Shankar Consulting, and RAM PC Support, all in the space of just 1 year. But only a small proportion of their payments came from checks. The vast majority were through a payment gateway, and here you can see one of the supervisors summarising last night's takings. He's sending a WhatsApp message to Sahil Garg, who's the chief financial officer.
Wow.
In a single day, they make over $14,000
Holy
using
shit.
the Chinese gateway PES, Arabesque, eChecks, PayPal, GPC,
Tier 1
and
gave
wire
and
transfer.
resub
And those
Eternium
figures were
and
fairly
resub Nick.
typical. Here's the month of March last year, and it shows that they made nearly $400,000 in that month. Fairmark
Holy
Travels
shit.
$3 million a year in scams.
Holy
But most
shit.
of that $3 million doesn't go to the people working on the floor. Here on the right is Amit Sindhu. He is the operations manager for Adrit Technologies.
That's
and
not
he's writing
bad.
up the bonuses that each agent's entitled to. They will receive an incentive, a bonus payment for just how much money they make, and this will be a fixed value of rupees. This will be added to their fixed salary, and at the end of the week and month, they will receive their bonus. But they will only typically make about $300 or $400 for every 10 to...
Look at this guy. Fuck, 13.6k sales? This is the employee of the month. This guy is crushing it. That guy must be really suave on the phone. He probably just asks for money and nothing else, and there's like, shit, alright, fine.
to $20,000 in sales. And of course, you wouldn't expect these sort of payments to appear on any books. So
Thanks
here
to the
in the
Asian
corner
boy.
is the operations manager counting out some of the cash
I don't know about
he's
that,
going to
Julian.
give to some of the
Thanks for the bit,
scammers on
Sideball.
the floor. It's vitally important that none of this sort of activity shows up on the company accounts, so they will always use cash. And indeed, there seems to be generally trust issues anyway with the scammers and the operations management. At the start
Do
of
they
every
fight?
12-hour shift, every agent must leave their mobile device in a side office. This prevents anyone doing any recording. This is fairly typical for scam operations. They wouldn't want to be blackmailed by anyone who had...
So why do they have
some of these scams.
CCTVs in a scam center?
Fortunately for us,
What could
Fairmark
that
have
possibly
decided to
do
use
for them?
CCTV, so we can just see
Just
the
to hard
scammers in
monitor
action
their
anyway.
workers?
Only at the end of the shift are they allowed to reclaim their mobile devices. But it can be quite boring whenever you're a scammer and you have to run a very set script. Here on the bottom left is a scammer who calls himself Nelson. Even when he's
Hey,
talking
Nelson.
to one of his victims, he gets so bored he actually sits and plays Pac-Man.
An even more
Listen to
boring
this for a
game,
bit
come
of
on.
multitasking.
Play something
And can I
cool.
make sure, is it like a laptop
RuneScape.
or a regular desktop computer?
It's a laptop, Microsoft.
Laptop, right. Microsoft. And which window are you running on it? Is it like Windows 10 or like the previous version?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Windows 10.
10, right. So anyway, you don't have to worry, right? See, sometimes what happens whenever we browse anything over the internet, okay? By any chance, if you might have clicked on any kind of bad link or some kind of unknown or unsecure site,
He will continue his Pac-Man game until the time that his victim runs the remote access software. Only at this point will he give up gaming and try and persuade the victim that she's got a virus.
Thanks the Prime
You can see the picture of the fake virus message very clearly on the victim's screen.
1 minute here. So, like, how old is this computer? Do you know?
I buy for her from 7 years.
Alright. So, as far as I can see, I'm not pretty sure on which website was exactly. I need to go ahead and check that out for you, okay? Please be with me.
Okay.
But all of these scammers needed GoToAssist. That's the software that they use to remotely access their victims' PCs, and I was able to observe exactly how they get their hands on the software. The agents would ask the supervisor for a username and password for GoToAssist. They would create
It's pretty thorough.
on a daily basis. They would simply create brand new disposable email addresses and use those to sign up for a trial version of GoToAssist. This makes it far too easy for scammers just like Fairmart to abuse the GoToAssist software. If there were a better process for restricting the use of this trial version, I'm certain sure the software wouldn't be abused as much as it is.
I really feel like in today's climate, scammers don't need to go through all this much effort. You could probably just say, I will fix this if you give me money. And then give them a place to send money, and they will do it without question. Like, look at what happened when people just posted, I will double your Bitcoin. Like, just random YouTube channels just posted live streams and videos saying, I will double your Bitcoin, send your Bitcoin here. And they made hundreds of thousands. You remember when they hacked Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and all that? All they said is, send us your Ethereum and Bitcoin, or I think it was just Bitcoin, to this address, and we will double it. And they made so much off that shit. This is so much effort for dumb people. Just say, give us money, we'll fix it, bang. That's how I'd run my scam call center. Just save time. If they say no, wasn't worth the effort, move on. Someone will say yes. Like, absolutely. Work smarter, not harder, idiots. Shit scammers.
If anyone from GoToAssist watches these videos, please take note of how the software is regularly abused by scammers. Please do something about this. And Fairmart were involved in more than one type of scam. You've seen the pop-up
I appreciate it. Well,
scams
thank you,
already,
Sauron.
but here, courtesy of this guy's WhatsApp, you can see that they were doing outbound calls as well. They seemed to target the people who had already fallen for scams.
Oh,
Dear user,
you really think that if you fell for it once, it would never happen again?
On your network, your personal information may get stolen. So please
I'm not
do
doing
log
mono
into your
audio, I'm
email
fine.
and banking. To report this issue, please contact Windows Support at 1-855-482-2885 or press 1 to speak to our agent.
And they would also pretend to be Amazon and send a lot of fake emails out. Although I don't have the original email, this is an actual voice recording of Luke, who we saw earlier, trying to persuade a victim that he really is Amazon.
Thank you for calling Amazon. This is Luke. Can I help you?
Yeah, I was just getting a email said I ordered a TV, but I did not.
Alright, sir. Just give me a moment. Let me check. And when
Yeah,
did
I
you
watched
receive
the Mark
this
Rober
email?
collab.
Today at 3:48.
Thanks to
May I
resub
have the email
Guns.
address?
Let's see, my email address is
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Guns, and thanks to resub Ghost Pro.
Very sneakily, what Lalit does here is enter the password reset routine for Amazon. He types the victim's email address, then asks him for the one-time PIN.
I'm going to send you a one-time verification code, okay?
Oh,
Your
no.
email, just to verify that I'm talking to the right customer, okay?
Okay.
So please check your email and give me the code.
Oh, no. Don't
If
do
anyone
it.
ever asks you to read out a one-time PIN, it's almost certainly going to be a scam. Always be on the lookout for this. If you're a patron of mine, you can see the whole audio of this scam happening from beginning to end. But this type of scam is all about getting a gift card.
Damn, what is that
from the
pixel
victim.
done? Sounds
They will
wild.
describe it as a security card, but scammers prefer gift card numbers these days because the money can cleanly be laundered and it's very difficult, if not impossible,
Thanks to Give Some
get
Mysterious.
that money back. And because these are 12-hour shifts, depending on how many pop-ups or which type of emails have sent out, it can get very busy and people will regularly walk around offering tea and coffee.
Oh, that's sweet.
But of course, with the CCTV there, I can't resist the opportunity to phone up Fairmart Travels and challenge some of the scammers on the floor. I'm going to be speaking to this person. He gives his name as Travis.
Get
Green,
ready,
but
Travis.
His real name is Susan.
Let's go. Fuck him up, Jim.
Thank you for calling support this side, Travis. How can I help you?
Hi,
Thanks,
yeah,
Resub
I've got
Sank.
like a computer lock warning message in front of me, and there's like a beeping sound that says to ring this number.
Like what exactly you were doing on the computer, sir, when this happened?
So I was trying to watch a movie, and it's just
Okay.
stopped, and it's kind of beeping away at me here.
No problem, sir. I will check that for you. Can you please confirm me your first and last name?
Yeah, it's Dilbert Goggenspine.
That's a good name.
Okay, and the computer that you have, is it a laptop?
Damn,
or
they
is it
all
a
play
desktop?
Pac-Man.
Yes.
Everyone in the
Pac-Man.
everyone in this call center is playing Pac-Man. Holy shit.
So just do one thing, sir. I will just check what exactly wrong is going on. Look onto your keyboard.
But instead of following his instructions, I decide to ask him who exactly they are.
I could find a website here. What website am I looking for?
If you talk about my company's website, it's iTech, ITECH hyphen security. That's our website.
So I can find it on my phone here.
Yeah, just please find it, sir. Just take your time and find it.
Right, so I've got like a website here, iTech Security Technical Support, and there's a USA.
Oh,
UK
true,
security
true.
number.
Blocked applications.
Yes, sir. And on the very bottom, sir, you will find my headquarters as well in UK.
Right, so you're in the UK, yeah?
Plymouth address.
You're in the UK.
No, right now we are located in California.
Right, so what time is it at California? Hello?
What kind of question is that, sir?
I don't believe you're in California. I think you have to look it up.
Damn,
sir,
blasted.
I'm not here to answer these kinds of questions, sir. Sir, what is the time in California?
Well, you don't know it because you're not there, are you?
Sir, how can you tell that we are
Checkmate.
not in California, sir?
Because
Our
you'd be able to
headquarters
answer
are
it.
based in San Jose, California.
You'd be able to answer it straight away. Instead, you're like...
It's 6 o'clock in California, sir.
So you had to look it up.
It sounds like you're playing Pac-Man. Say it, Jim. I want to see how he reacts.
Why will I look it up, sir? We are not allowed to. We are not. I'm just wearing my watch.
I was severely tempted to stop playing Pac-Man.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Some more on his location.
Jim, come on.
If you're in San Jose, what does
Say
the
it.
center?
Say it.
What's the central road in San Jose called?
I'm not here to answer these questions, sir.
Okay, that tells me everything I need to know. If you really lived there, you would name one restaurant anywhere at all
Prime,
in
heck.
San Jose.
Let me tell you one thing, sir.
Just name me one
I'm
street.
an Indian.
One
okay,
street.
and my headquarters.
Are you?
I beg your pardon?
Are you in San Jose or not?
Definitely, sir.
Okay. Can you name me one restaurant in San Jose?
Quickly Google it. Wait, that's... What the
Without
fuck was
looking
that?
at Google.
Why should I tell you these questions, sir?
Because you'd be able
Why
to
should I
answer it
tell you
straight
this
away
question?
without Googling it.
Thanks to the bits, Danny.
No, I'm not Googling it, sir. And I'm not even telling you.
Okay, so name me a restaurant in San Jose.
What did he type in?
Do that. I don't want to
What did he type in? You just have to type in San Jose
I'm not
restaurant.
these questions. I have many.
Just say McDonald's.
I can find on Google as well.
I know, and that's
But
probably
I don't
what you're
want to
doing.
do that. Because I'm not here to answer these questions. I'm not here to answer these
I
questions.
should give some Ghost and some Soul
Well, I bet you're
Calibur.
looking at Google right now.
I'm not doing that, sir.
Okay, so name me, I don't know what the railway station is called in San Jose.
I don't know that as well. I said, sir, I don't live in San Jose. I'm
do
an
you live?
Indian. My headquarters are based in San Jose, so I do my job over here.
Thanks to
where
some
do you
Shaken
live?
Drake in Days. No idea, Big
I'm
Dick.
an Indian. I said I live in India, but in San Jose we are having our headquarters, so I travel across
Right,
the world.
so sorry, you are in India then?
No, I'm not in it. Right now I'm in San Jose.
Right, so why don't you know anything about San Jose?
because I love my job. I respect my job. I don't come here to make fun, and I don't come here to travel. I come here to do my job.
So you must live outside the office somewhere.
He's so
Yeah,
confused
it's
right
at
now.
Trimble Road
God damn.
Trimble
in San
Road.
Jose.
Trimble Road is where your headquarters are. I'm asking even to name the street that you live in.
Sir, if I am living in Trimble Road, definitely my headquarters is there as well, sir.
So you live
181 West Trimble Road.
so you live beside where you work. The same street.
Sir, are you insane? What question you're asking me, sir? If you are having an office over there, definitely you will be there in the
You
office.
fucking
Why will
idiot.
you
What do
be
you
very
mean? Are you
home?
dumb?
So
Come on,
I'm
it's
just
an
asking
impossible
because I've just
question to
looked
answer.
where Trimble Road is in San Jose.
Thanks to the
Have you
resub
ever seen it
Fano
in
and the
Street
Prime
View? 'Cause I'm looking
Skadoosh.
at it, and it's all offices. There's no residential places there. Have a look yourself.
Yeah,
You plainly
that
don't live
does
there.
not mean that if that it does not that does not mean that I do not live over here. We are having a team of almost like 150 to 200 people. We all live in office only, sir.
You live in the office. You sleep in the office, do you?
Yeah.
Really? You have beds in the office? Really?
Yeah.
So you actually sleep there as well, and you don't go out, and you've never heard of any.
He loves
streets
his
in San
job.
Jose.
He loves his job.
No, let me tell you one thing. Offices in your street might be small, sir,
Thanks to
but
the
in our
Prime
street,
Stefano and
offices are very
resub
big.
Jimmy.
I know. I'm looking at it in Street View, and they're all business offices. I just can't believe that you actually sleep in your office as well. And presumably, when you landed
Why
in
didn't you
San
do
Jose,
one thing, sir?
uh-huh,
No. Why don't you do one thing, sir? Okay?
yeah,
Book your ticket to California and come tomorrow to California.
I've been there.
Book your ticket and come tomorrow to California. Why you're looking on the Google, sir?
I'm not looking at
Uh-oh.
Google.
Uh-oh.
I've been to San Jose already.
Uh-oh.
I have friends in San Jose.
He's getting
Well, I have
wild.
to book my ticket to Delhi and friends in San Jose.
He's getting
Well, I have
wild.
to book my ticket to Delhi and visit you there.
Why will you book the ticket to Delhi?
Because that's where you are, I'm sure.
Thanks to the gift sub fancy.
You're wrong. I'm not in Delhi.
Well, why has everybody around you that I can hear got an Indian accent?
There is no. Who said that everyone over here has an Indian accent?
I can hear all the voices around you. There must be people next to you, and they're all speaking with an Indian accent. Why? Why would that be?
What they're saying, sir? No. What they're saying? Can you hear them?
Oh yes,
Can
I
you
can.
tell them what you?
Jim, you need to scare him.
Keep saying what you said.
Scare him.
Things like press the Windows key with the letter R.
Tell him to
or
tap the
R.
guy's shoulder next
Well, I
to him
just
and
heard
describe
them a
his
minute
shirt.
ago.
No. They're not saying.
Well, they all have
Near me,
Indian
there is no one
accents.
sitting. Only
Thanks to
one
Prime
person.
Swiss and resub
And they're all
Hexadodecagon.
following.
Near me, no one is sitting. Only one person is sitting.
Yeah, but they're all following the old tech support script, scam script. They're all saying press Windows R. Yeah. I think you know this, don't you? Are you still there? I mean, it can't be a difficult.
Tell him
thing
to sit
work
back
this
down
out,
in his
you know.
chair, Jim.
I just can't understand.
And that his
why you're not
bracelets are
honest.
fucking dumb.
I don't want to answer these questions, sir. You have wasted much of my time. Thank you so much.
I haven't really, Travis. I haven't really. I just want to know why you're scamming people. Oh, you cut me off. Yep.
Damn it, Jim. I guess he wanted
And in
to,
part
like,
3 of this video series,
continue
we
to
follow the
spy
money
on them.
and find out who all the key players are. We can trace all of the scam payments back to this man's PayPal account. We'll find out who he is
I'm
and
so
how
invested.
he sets up his business. And things have moved on since I initially created this video. Now the police have become involved and they've arrested the person at the top here. The company goes by several aliases and they're on screen, and if you think
Rough.
you or a relative has been affected by their
Pussy.
scam, please contact the police on the email address shown here and in the description.
Actually
My aim
fucking
with these
steamrolled. Damn. I wish Jim would just play a little harder. Just a bit. But he's doing like noble
In part 1
work.
of this video series, I showed how Fairmart Travels had a secret scam call center to the rear of their
Thanks
premises.
to Prime, Papa Glock.
Fairmart are involved in pop-up scams, and they also pretend to be Amazon. They will use both these sorts of scams to try and get money out of their victims. In part 2, we saw the supervisor noting just how much money each of the scammers had made, and this would determine their bonus. Their bonus payment was paid in cash. In the corner here is Amit Sindhu.
Thanks to Prime,
He
Zantro.
is one of 3 or 4 operations managers
The
for
Tier 1
Adrift
Will
Technologies, or as they call themselves, 11 Hub. He's not only responsible for handing out the bonuses, but also making sure that the scams operate as intended. According to Amit's LinkedIn profile, and I suspect this page will be removed soon, he seems to have been working in the company since 2015.
Thanks to Resub Insomnia.
But the person who sits at the top of the chain is also called Amit. On the left here is Amit Chauhan. He is the CEO of Fairmart Travels, and he's the ex-director of Adrift Technologies.
Nice.
It's not clear why he's no longer that director, but he was until fairly recently. Indeed, Adrift Technologies still have Amit's email address as the contact email for the company.
Thanks to Bitfiend.
Once this video is released, undoubtedly Amit will try to distance himself from this company. But the scammers were taking payments, and I traced the PayPal payments directly to Amit. This is a screenshot from their PayPal page. It clearly shows that Amit Chauhan is the Chief Financial Officer of Adrift Tech, and his business was known by several aliases. Here you can see 24/7 Fix.
Jim's got him.
When the supervisors would log into PayPal, it was clear that their victims' details were also there. They would send invoices via PayPal, so I could
that guy
trace
got
all
fucked
of the
up there.
payments from the victims directly to Amit.
Thanks to Prime Paper Tiger
And
Infused.
the PayPal account showed that thousands of dollars were being transferred from victims in the USA, UK, and
Holy shit, this is all in a single day. All of that whole page was one day. Damn, Amit. Man was fucking banking. How is there this many, like, geriatric octogenarians that fall for this shit? That's crazy.
Australia. And don't forget that this was just one of 5 different payment gateways being used by this company. When the payments came off hold,
Thanks to
they were
Prime Bed,
transferred
Resub
to an
Jackson,
Indian
and
bank
Revenge.
account. But Amit was very careful never to set foot in the scamming offices themselves. Instead, he would meet with the floor supervisors on occasions in his office in the main building. And it was in those offices that Amit masterminded some of the scams that his company would run. Here in Amit's office, he would invite some of his business colleagues. The big guy on the bottom left is called Anuj, and the other guy on the right is called Amar. Between the 3 of them, they run a company called Z-Core Solutions, and here they're discussing some of the next scams that they're about to undertake. Fortunately for us, the only part of the building where the CCTV has audio are his offices, so we're able to pick up on his conversations.
It's like he installed the cameras in order to catch himself.
With the translation.
Classic
I've
Amit.
only highlighted the parts which are in English, so that's easier to understand. The group
Thanks to
discuss
Tier 1
how many
Ash.
agents they'll need, how many days they'll work, what sort of commission they'll get, and ultimately what sort of scams they're about to operate.
Makes the
Until
resub
this
frame.
point, they'd mostly been running pop-up scams, but here the suggestion is to run the refund scam and pretend to be Amazon.
So the lesser the people know of this, it will become our job easier.
And not only was the work to be kept a secret, here they're discussing how they do the Amazon scam.
You were just connected to the, from the business department, you were just connected to the technician.
The
Oh,
Amazon
thank you to the 10
scam
gift subs,
is becoming
Komodo.
more and more common.
Thank you,
They
Komodo.
will
Appreciate
send
it.
a lot of bulk emails and pretend to be a billing department of Amazon. The order will contain the victim's name, but of course it's all fake. They just want the phone call. When an agent receives this phone call, they will try and persuade the victim that they've got a security or hacker problem. And the way to get around this problem is to go and buy a card. They will describe this as a security card, but in fact the victim would be buying a
Thanks to
gift
Prime.
card, the currency
Cleanup
of
crew.
scammers. If you're a patron of mine, you can hear some recent examples of some of the audio that I've captured. with
Yeah, he's
Fairmont
good,
Private
Foxy.
Scam. And to the outside world, Amit appears like a very successful entrepreneur. Last year, he visited Germany and Amsterdam, Singapore, New York, Las Vegas, Bhutan, Chandigarh, Thailand, and most recently, Sri Lanka.
And then even more recently, jail.
Profound quotes from the likes of Steve Jobs. And this is his birthday cake, which features parts of Amit's life. On the left here is his black Porsche. He has a real one. On the right are some iPads and other Apple devices. In the middle, a laptop. And on the right
I know what
side,
that is, Jimmy.
Lots
I'm
of
familiar.
dollars. And to the
And
right
thank you
of
to
all
10
of
gift
this,
subs, Dev.
this is
Thank you,
main
Dev.
Fairmont
Appreciate the
building.
generosity.
No mention of the secret one out the back. But all the time, his company are scamming older or vulnerable people.
I have MS, and I'm a nervous wreck, and I can't understand a lot. So I'm listening
Don't worry,
real close.
don't be getting nervous, miss, okay? Right now you're in safe hands, okay? That is the reason you're telling me that you won't live for the next year as well, right?
Probably not.
No, don't tell me that, miss.
I'm a diabetic, and I'm legally blind.
Okay.
And, I'm pretty.
What the fuck?
Some of the phone calls that I listened into are absolutely heartbreaking, and that was just one of them. I have tried to report Fairmont Travels and Amit Chauhan via the National Cybercrime Portal for India, but this portal just doesn't work. You're supposed to receive a one-time PIN to a mobile number, but it looks as if that part is broken, so I can't even report the crime this way. Instead, and only because I know exactly where the building is and therefore which police service and which district is involved, I reported the crime to the Haryana police. And initially, when I submitted the report, absolutely nothing happened. I didn't even get an acknowledgement email. This was pretty much expected. I've never really had any response from any police service in India. So instead, I did something new.
Thanks to resub Jesse,
I reached
Underestimated,
out to a documentary
and Dev.
crew in the UK
And Fruniel.
called Panorama, and I shared my material with them. They have
Thanks
much
to resub
larger
Lil Rock.
budgets than me, and they even had the ability to travel to India to confront the owners, and that's exactly what they did. There's a link in the top right hand corner to that Panorama documentary, and I'll pick up in part 4.
Really smart idea.
Those videos and the documentary went live. But to reuse Amit's favourite quote, this operation can only work if it's run by a team of people, and one of the most important people in that team is Sahil Garg. He is the accountant for this company. And I witnessed the operations managers making their daily reports on how much money they'd scammed the previous day directly.
Alright, Satan. Hope you had a good day.
So I can now put together a picture of the key players in this scam. Top of the tree is Amit Chauhan, and he is the director of Fairmont Travels and the ex-director of Adrit Technologies. The people that he plans the scams with are called Anuj and Amar, and between the three of them they own 2 companies, Z-Core Solutions and CapNerds Venture. Anuj and Amar independently have a different travel company called Travel Matrix and a marketing division called A Square Marketing. They are also co-owners of a nightclub in Delhi.
Jim Browning's like a real-world version of L from Death Note.
He posts lots of this footage inside the nightclub on his Facebook page.
Woo! Let's go!
You have to wonder where all the money came from to buy a nightclub like this.
Wishing a very happy wedding, Mr. Funkers out here.
And so back to the key players. One of the most important people here we've covered is Sahil Garg, and he is the accountant for all of Amit's businesses, including Fairmont and Adrit Technologies. The co-director of Fairmont is Asif Bhatt. It's unclear whether he has anything to do with the scams, so I've left his face blurred. The 2 people beside him in this diagram are Asif Chowdhury and Amit Sindhu, both operations managers for Adrit Technologies. And finally, at the top of the diagram is another director of one of the companies that Amit owns. Amit's wife Sonia is co-director of CapNerds Payment Solutions. It's unclear what this payment solutions business does, but there is a similarly named Capnerd's venture, which is owned by Amar, Anuj and Amit. Given their track record, it's hard not to believe this is associated with scams. But what about Amit's main business, Fairmart.com? Is it legitimate? Well, in 2019, they had a plainly fake address. They claimed to be at an address in Delaware, but when looked at on Google Maps, it was plainly a residential area and not an office location. But since the TV crew became more interested in Fairmart, they've now rented a different office address, this time in Denver, Colorado. I've been told that although they rent this address, they don't seem to meet there very often. But on Trustpilot, Fairmart.com seems to be doing pretty well. 80% of the reviews look like they're excellent, and only a small proportion seem to be poor or bad. But when you look carefully at these reviews, there does seem to be a bit of a pattern. Any of the good or excellent reviews seem to name every agent by name, and the good reviewers only seem to have ever reviewed just one company, Fairmart.com.
No, they were just so passionate.
Don't mention agents by name. The original promised fare is increased, and it seems almost impossible to get your money back. So although I can't definitively prove this, I believe that Fairmart.com are internally writing their own good reviews, and any poor ones are legitimate. But there's one thing that I am sure about, and that's that they pretend to be the reservations for Delta Airlines, and probably seeded their phone number to make it look as if they are the front desk for Delta. The following conversation was recorded in December 2019 and shows just how deceptive Fairmart will be.
Thank you for calling reservations. How may I help you today?
Let's do some hug.
My name is Randy. I'm holding a Delta Sky Miles credit card, and I have a challenge here. I wanted to use points to travel. I'm going for my residency for my doctorate, and I'm coming up short here on points.
I'm surprised he's not playing Pac-Man.
I was told by someone that
He's actually listening.
For those, Delta Sky Miles card holders, that you all might be able to assist me with some points to try and book this flight. So I was kind of.
Sure, definitely. So what I understood here is you would like to book a flight using your points, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Definitely, so I can assist on that. So, okay, how many points do you have, sir?
I think that's a good question.
He's a tier 1 first form Frieza.
So, to book this flight,
And the resub sniper.
That is fine, sir. I would love to check that for you. Can I have your Delta Sky Miles number?
Up until this point, this Fairmart agent hasn't given any indication that he isn't Delta, and he has no access to any systems which will allow him to look up the Delta Sky Miles details. So what does he do?
Okay, 921.
And can I have the password?
And can I have the password? He's breaking the number one rule of any customer interactions. No legitimate person will ever ask for your password.
Not true.
This is a sure sign that it's a scam.
People on RuneScape
the real
do.
Delta Airways would never ask their customers for their password. This victim is slightly taken aback by someone asking for his password.
Do they normally give out the password?
Yeah, of course. Without a password, you cannot log in.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Oh my god. How? He's not even like an old man.
Audio, but suffice to
He's
say,
going for his
this
doctorate.
agent wasn't able to log in despite having the right password, and there may have been security checks which triggered a blocked login. So even if Fairmart do call themselves a legitimate travel company, some of their practices are at best questionable. The reviews are certainly fake, and these practices of asking people for their passwords is probably illegal. I have passed on this information to the Delta Sky Miles team, and hopefully they are able to take action against Fairmart.com. So we're going to leave part 3 with Luke here on the right, chalking up just how much money he's made on this shift. When he writes it up on the board, it should translate into a nice bonus for him. He, together with about 30 other scammers, have managed to scam upwards of $3 million from people all over the UK, US and Australia. He is employed by Android Technologies, an offshoot of Fairmart.com, and they use common infrastructure. They'll typically use Ringba.com and ETITel for their phone numbers, again shared with their main business, Fairmart.com. And once they have scammed people, they will follow up on these scams with other ones. They will claim that there are yet more hackers or problems on people's PCs in order to get yet more money out of their victims. They will pretend to be other companies like Amazon and Delta Airlines in order to extract as much money as possible. So as Lalit goes into the side office to recollect his mobile phone, his company, together with hundreds of others in the Kolkata and Delhi districts, will be undertaking the same sort of scams day in, day out. And it's only when the police in India get serious about this sort of crime will something be done about it. The portal for cybercrime reporting needs to be fixed, and any complaints need to be followed up on. I can provide lots of intelligence for other similar scam call centres. But until this action happens, people here,
I cannot believe that shit,
as he's really called, will be free to do these scams as often as he likes. And not only will he make money, but his boss, Amit, will make money. So as we watch him leave the scam call centre, let's hope that some good at least comes from this set of videos. I certainly intend to expose these scammers for what they do, and if you wish to support me, there is a link to my Patreon channel below.
Alright, we're on to part 4.
I'll always make these videos free, but any support you can give me is most welcome.
Seems like such a good guy.
Part of this video.
Alright, and now the finale. Hopefully it ends with some kind of like crazy shootout, bombs, something wild. A fire, perhaps, maybe a tsunami. Like, I want this shit to go full Michael Bay in part 4.
In the first few parts of this video series, I discovered a scamming call centre who had CCTV. I was able to use their own CCTV to watch how they ran their scams. They had a secret office out the back of their main building where around 20 to 30 scammers would operate on a daily basis. They would get bonuses paid in cash for scamming people in Australia, UK and the US. And they would run multiple scams. They would pretend to be Amazon or Microsoft and send out pop-up messages to infect people's computers. But it was only when I started working with a BBC documentary crew that the world had its attention on this scam.
Thank you for holding the line. I really appreciate your time and patience. My name is Chris Lawson.
It's such a warm where you are.
Yeah, it is very hot here in California.
Thanks for trying dirt.
Yeah, I'll have to come over there then.
Yeah, please. We'll go to the beaches, you know.
Ah, that'd be nice.
The BBC produced this trailer before their documentary, and it had a huge impact.
We need to repair all the services which got broken, alright?
Yeah, I see that.
Sir, there would be a charge of $12.95, okay?
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, I heard that.
So let me get it done. Hey, why are you crying, man? You're a very good man. Why
no.
I suffer from depression.
No, sir. Everything will be okay. Don't worry, okay?
Yeah.
Now, promise me you won't cry again, okay?
These pictures of scammers laughing at one of their unfortunate victims had a very profound effect on a number of people. And the CCTV caught not just the scammers themselves, but the boss, Amit Chowan. And by tracing the payments from the victims, it led directly to this call centre boss. It also showed him planning some scams and taking advice from others who were clearly experienced in this sort of fraud.
I hope you're doing well, Pyle.
That is how we measure our success. We don't give a shit about the customer.
And I was able to show a direct link between the victim's payments and Amit Chowan's accounts. And with that money, he was living a luxury lifestyle.
Yeah, he's on top of the world, baby.
In this trailer, it caught the attention.
It's Amit's world. We're just getting scammed in it.
The story went as far as New Zealand. So when the TV
Thanks, Resub
documentary
Villain.
was broadcast on UK national television on the 2nd of March 2020, it reached a very wide audience. And one of the people supposedly watching was this man. His name is Karan Goel, and he heads up the cybercrime police in Gurugram, the location of Amit's scam call centre. And in under 12 hours from the broadcast of the TV programme, Karan's team raided the call centre.
Woo!
And they went into the right place. They went to the building behind Fairmart where the scammers were located. They also went to Amit Chohan's luxurious home address, and there they picked up some of his laptop equipment. Chohan was living in the DLF Magnolias building in New Delhi. The Magnolias apartment complex was a luxurious location. It overlooked an Olympic-sized swimming
Exit tier
pool
1 link.
and had access to a golf
They give some
course.
crunchy.
And Chohan's rent for this apartment was 5 lakh or 500,000 rupees. That's about $6,000 per month. That sort of rent is almost unheard of in Delhi. And according to reports, the laptop contained the scripts which the scammers would use to dupe their victims.
Surely Jim was watching when they raided, right?
Details
I'd love to
of
see the
those
footage.
victims, including email addresses, credit and debit card numbers, and checks written to one of the many aliases. So as Goel was giving the press conference, he revealed some of the critical details of the arrest.
Do they not have
It wasn't just
handcuffs? They're
Amit
just
Chohan
holding
who was
hands.
arrested. Here on the right is Sumit Kumar, who was supposedly the accountant for this company. The newspaper reports revealed that Chohan and Kumar were both college dropouts, and that the police had sufficient evidence to press charges against both. So bizarrely, hand in hand with their arresting police officers, they were paraded in front of the cameras in the
Nice.
police station. So this is obviously an amazing success, something I never thought
Thanks
would
to the
be
gifts of
possible.
Gangbang and No
But
Cat.
honestly, I don't think anything would have happened had I just produced the video on my own. It really needed the extra media attention. But there are still a number of loose ends, particularly how are the victims going to get their money back? Well, there's
That's
at least one
not gonna
good
happen,
story,
I don't think.
because the person who was featured at the start of this video, who lost more than £1,200, has been compensated. But that didn't come through the seizure of assets. Instead, someone who's a viewer of my channel felt so sorry for the man who had been crying and was suffering from depression that he offered to return all of the money that was
Thanks,
scammed to
Resub
him
Ice Pro
from his own
Museman.
pocket.
Aww.
I've got to keep the victim's details as private as possible, but Rory, on behalf of this entire channel, thank you for being so generous to a complete stranger. And police in Gurugram have asked anyone who thinks they may be a victim of this scam to get in touch via the email address on screen and in the description. But there was more than just
Thanks to the bits,
Chohan and his
Dwyler.
accountant involved in this scam. We had CCTV which showed him meeting with some of his business associates, and they were the ones who were able to explain to him how
come.
certain scams would
Friends.
work. And
The
even
door.
though they had been
Fake.
caught
Oh shit, hey,
red-handed
thanks for the raid.
explaining how those scams
Welcome.
would be set
I've
up,
been waiting
they
for
still had the
you,
nerve to complain
friends.
about the videos which had their faces and names already blurred on YouTube.
Oh, fuck.
So even though I'd been careful to blur out their details, they still wanted
Appreciate
to
the raid.
silence me, and it's understandable. So in a clear abuse of YouTube's privacy policy, they raised this complaint
Welcome.
against me. But I've done absolutely nothing wrong. None of their personal details are revealed, and instead I'm going to put a link in the description to where people can read more about these two characters. But that will of course be outside YouTube. The link will show the evidence that this pair run other scam call centres, and this is how they've got the expertise. Let's just hope that the Haryana police will also take an interest in these two.
And they should
But
fix
the
their
police
website.
themselves have work to do to get their own house in order. The official National Cybercrime Reporting Portal only works
Thanks to
if
Prime.
you've got an Indian
Smash.
mobile number. And not only that, you have to select the specific state because that particular
Yeah, it was a
police
fake
force
raid,
will
it
be the
seems.
ones
Wild.
investigating. Most people
Wild.
will have an IP address
Must
at
have been
best
Amit.
and will not know the exact region and therefore the exact police force to get
I just
in
looked at
touch
the
with.
name.
And it
Exit
doesn't
tier
help
1
when
wall
the
to wall.
Delhi police admit that it's a difficult crime to crack. Their system should help them. I'm showing a still from the Panorama documentary where they interview one of the police heads in Delhi. He said that very few victims come forward to report the crime, and well, their portal won't help in that respect. and it's also almost impossible to identify the call centre involved, and I totally agree with that. If more people were allowed to legally do what I do, I'm certain sure that a lot of these call centres would be uncovered and more arrests could be made.
Agreed.
But this is why I do what I've been doing. You cannot tell from the phone number or anything to do with the caller ID who is behind the scam. You don't even need a physical telephone line in your office to run these robocall scams. And there are hundreds of these scam call centres throughout India, mostly in the Delhi and Kolkata regions, but also in some of the other major cities. I have reported to the police almost every one of the pins on this map, but until now, nothing has been done about it. So I'm hoping that this series of videos can actually make a real change in India and the Indian police's ability to act on the reports that I send. I still can't encourage anyone to do exactly what I do because it's perceived as illegal. However, when the scammer connects to my computer, I can show 100% of the time that they were trying to steal money from me.
No.
This may not be a valid defense, but at least it will probably discourage a complaint.
Hold on, I can't hear you. One
There may
sec.
be some unexpected benefits.
What? I didn't. I've been using the same one all day.
Benefits of this particular.
Huh? I don't know. I've been using the same one all day. I wasn't even home most of the day, so it's just been the same one. I don't know then.
Particular scam. On
Easy
screen
tier 1,
is
flawless
rescam.org.
in the resub soaked.
Hey, nice to meet you.
And Bearded Wonder.
Welcome to Rescam.
And what does this system do?
I'm an artificially intelligent email bot made to reply to scam emails.
I'm anyone and no one.
As far as scammers will know, I'm you.
And what this bot will do is...
I adopt one of my many personalities.
To continue the conversation of any would-be victim.
I waste their time with a never-ending series of questions and anecdotes.
So that they have less time to pursue real people.
So although
I love
this
that
website
shit.
is geared to automatically replying to scam emails, can you imagine a system which would trap those robocalls and keep scammers occupied with realistic conversations?
They won't know when they're scamming or getting scammed out of their own time.
Is there
It's
sub
bad for
fire?
business. Deleting a scam email protects you, but forwarding to
Me at rescam.org
protects others.
It's also kind of funny.
So because I've got more than 70,000 recordings of real scams, it may be possible through artificial intelligence to keep scammers occupied when they make phone calls. Obviously these
I
calls
love it.
would need to be anonymised, and there are probably some legal implications of all of this.
Of course, Stove.
But in theory, they could be used to help prevent scams in the future. I'm currently in discussions with a US university to try and do just
Kid
that.
Boga, yeah.
Can we create an artificial intelligence which will keep scammers
There's a tier 1 Luke Rocks.
Imagine an automated version
Hey, there's
of
Kit.
Boga or Hoax Hotel. The conversations wouldn't be as funny, but they certainly will be realistic. But since I may never get to see these scammers on their own CCTV again, I'm going to leave you with a little clip with Sam here in the top right being called out by one of his potential victims.
Oh, that's exciting.
Thank you for calling technical department. You're talking to Sam. How can I help
There's a
you?
tier 1 Perry.
Yeah, what is your company name?
Oh, rough. Oh, it's
So
left
the
channel.
company name is Premium Technical Support, and
Yeah,
that is
shit.
based out in California. How can I help you?
Okay, Premium Technical Support.
I can't hear it.
What's your
Right.
address?
Sir, the company is based out in California, San Jose. Alright. So
I'm
if I
not
ask you,
doing
sir, can you
mono
please tell
audio.
me what kind of problem you're facing with the computer?
Yeah, it's a virus.
Will
you
annotations
just
bring it up?
infected
Let's see.
Okay. So if I ask you, sir, can you please tell me what exactly you were doing on the machine when this came
Thanks
up
to
on
the
the screen?
resub, Rhett and tier 1 Perry.
Oh, I don't know. Went to a website, and the next thing I know, it pops up a little box saying to call you bastards with some kind of bribe or, you know.
Okay. And if I ask you, sir, is that the first time that you came across all these issues with, or you had before as well?
Thanks to resub Colonel Chicken.
What's that?
I'm asking, is that very first time that you came across all these issues, or you had before as well in the past?
So what do you want? You want my IP address so you can hack me and make me a remote robot, or what?
No, of course, sir. So why will I do that? I'm not a hacker.
I don't know. Why is your number there?
Because as I said, like might be it's a Trojan attack, or might be you have some infections in your computer who is creating lots of problems inside your machine. So that is why you have the alert with you, so that before it goes anything wrong, you can get it fixed. That's why you got the hour number, okay?
Thanks to resub Sauce.
Alright.
It's not that big of a deal, Skeleton.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Right,
curious
so
what scam you guys are running. It's a scam that you're running.
So what do you mean by scam?
Fraud. Fraud, scam, swindle.
The subtitles aren't really helpful.
What are you trying to do?
So like, first of all, let me tell you,
Here,
so
what
you're
kind
not
of f***ing program or whatever are you trying to sell? You're a scammer.
I'll tell you.
You're not even in the
Alright.
United States.
No, yes, we are. If you want, you can come like physically at our place in California.
Well, I'm just curious, what kind of a fraud ad are you running on a website that pops up and threatens people to call your number?
Thanks to resub Broccoli.
If you're a patron of mine, you can see a different ending, one which would be an instant demonetization on YouTube, but is very funny. If you would like to support me
Thanks
on
to Tier 1
Patreon, there's a
Pingu.
link here and in the description below, and catch me on Twitter at JimBrowning11. Again, thank you for watching.
That was a great series with a very happy ending.